Hello, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me. This time, my interview, I'm out and about. I'm on the road now. Today, I'm with Natalie Bradbury. Hello, Natalie.
Hi.
You may remember Natalie and
Marianne,
who is somewhere in the back here, was on the show Food for Change. We were talking about this amazing project of getting organic food from all sorts of places, acting as, in a way, as your own distributor,
yeah.
but from your garage. And you very kindly said, would you like to come up and see how the operation is done? And I said, that would be fantastic. And here we are. So, as we talk, we're going to show the operation in process.
Okay.
For those that are new to this and didn't see the interview before, could you just tell us roughly what you do?
Okay, so we've brought a group of people together, which we now call our community, and we allocate some wonderful vegetables to each member and pack them in my garage, and they come and collect. So, in a nutshell.
Brilliant. So, I wanted to find out more about this because one of the things that you said that I found really interesting was how difficult it was to get organic food, because if you're not in the movement and you just somebody who goes to a supermarket and you see it on the shelf, you think that there must be farms nearby that have all of this, but that's not what you found.
No, it's not. So if you go into a supermarket, there are items that are labelled organic, but there are very few. There's very little choice or variety. So the idea behind this movement, if you like, is to get a group of people together to enable us to get more of a variety by sourcing it from places that are a little bit further out that we can bring together to us.
And how easy was it to source organic food?
Well, the beauty about what we're doing is that I have Marianne on board, and Marianne has been a farmer for almost 30 years. So she has connections with many farms.
Right.
And that was the first step, that was the first hurdle. So having somebody like her is brilliant.
So if you're thinking of doing this, get yourself
a farmer. Or come to us and we'll help you.
Yes.
Because the idea is to empower people to do what we're doing. And if you have a group of people that want to do this, we want to help you.
So organic farming is, it's something that was a bit of a fad, in the 70s. People sort of moved over to it and people were going, oh, organic, what is that? When really it's a strange term because that's what farmers used to do in the old days before industrial farming. Mm-hmm. Why is it important that it's got to be organic to you?
Because it's free of pesticides. They're nourishing the earth that goes into the food, that goes into our stomachs. And it's all about making sure that we are at optimal health. And that's, to us, that's hugely important now. And yes, organic is more expensive. It shouldn't be. Every food should be. That's the correct way of doing things. And it's not, so there is a premium to that. And the idea
food is artificially lowered, isn't
yes.
it? In the supermarkets, we all think that food should be much, much cheaper than it is. But that's a really bad way of looking at food. It's such an important part of life,
yeah.
And it keeps you healthy.
Absolutely, yeah. I used to really enjoy going out to have dinners out, but I've realised that they're not as studious with what they put in their food that we're ingesting. So I find now that I would much rather get my veg from here and create magic in the kitchen. And I think it's brought our family closer together as well, because we all cook together. It's
yes.
a nice way of doing things.
And the community aspect of it, it's not just you on your own.
No.
So when you got going and you had this idea with Marianne and you said, let's get some organic food, was it easy? Was the whole process of getting volunteers and other people interested in the idea, did it just sort of...
No, not to start with. It was quite difficult to start with. It's getting people engaged in the idea, and I think the beauty about this video is that people will actually see what we're doing.
Yes.
Because hearing it and talking about it is very different to actually seeing it in the process. And so we did invite members to come down of our community just to have a look that weren't on board.
Right.
And I think the more that joined us, they would tell their friends or their family, and they would then come on board too. So it has grown. We started this in October last year, and obviously we are now May, and we've now got 46 people in our group. They don't order every bi-weekly, which is our cycle, but 9 times out of 10 they do, or they'll do it the opposite cycles.
And when you see, as we will be showing you throughout this, the quality of the food, the organic vegetables and the dairy products that you've got, all of it, and you suddenly look at it and it looks so much different than the tired, just out of the fridge rubbish that's come from the supermarket, and it looks wholesome. I mean, it feels, and of course it's not like you see in the supermarket where it's just sort of very glossy and all perfect shaped and all that. I mean, it is.
No, there's wobbly bits and all sorts. Yeah.
But it's just as good.
Yeah.
Having that community, clearly you're sharing not only information about the food itself, but presumably recipes, what you can do with it. Because as soon as I arrived, I said, I've had beetroots and I don't know what to do with them. And immediately, I can't remember who it was.
I think it was Denise or Amanda.
Yeah,
Amanda,
suddenly they go, oh, look, there's 100 ideas. So, I mean, this is another part of the community and sharing information. We know that we're in very odd times at the moment, and I've been talking about this on my channel, of course, of all the different various things that the government and the people who are controlling the government are trying to push down on us. This is also a good way of having a conversation about those other issues.
It is, absolutely. So as you can see, we've got quite a few helpers today. We've got 3 helpers. And Julia's helping as well, which is wonderful.
Partner,
But we have a rota system so that we try and alternate it so everybody gets a chance to see.
So all of the people who are getting the veg?
Yes.
Right.
Because in time, not only do they get their packing fee back, we do a packing fee so that we can provide things like fridges, paper bags, anything we need, printing ink, paper. And then once we've managed to sort all of that out, we will then split our packing fee within our group.
Right.
So that if they're taking time off work to come and help us on the day, it's worthwhile.
Yes.
And it gives them a bit more of an incentive. But more importantly, it's not about the money. They're coming here because it's a chance for us to see each other, have the conversations that we can't necessarily have with just any person in the street.
No, absolutely.
And it's fun. It's a fun day.
I was going to say, we've been here a few hours. It's not, right, everyone get to it and that's it. You've had cups of tea, you've cooked cakes, you've even made us some sandwiches, which was very nice. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
And you can see that everybody's having fun. There's no stress. There's no. There's just a communal feel, which is really encouraging. Presumably, because it's we're in your house or in your drive and in your garage, members of the public can't really see what's going on.
No.
And in order to make this work, you can't just sell it to the public, presumably.
Not really, no. I think a lot of this is another thing that is built upon a trust as well, because invariably some people want to pay cash, but we have to pay for the food up front.
Right.
So we have to trust in our people that they are going to actually pay us for the veg box that we've now packed for them.
Yes.
So there's a lot of trust that goes into this, and we've built relationships up over the period of 2 to 3 years through the pandemic. So this is crucial, that you do have it could be family members, it could be a group of friends. The one thing that I did get from the last interview that we had together is that there were a lot of comments about what do people do if they can't afford this.
I was going to ask you, because although I've said food is artificially lowered for the supermarkets because of the mass production and who knows what's going into it and a lot of nasty chemicals, clearly there's a bit of a shock when you start buying organic, or particularly regularly. You might try one thing and go, oh, I'll push the boat out for that. But it's really a thing about switching right over, because the benefit is building your body back slowly through organic. So what do you say to people?
So, I was a person that used to like spending money on lots of other things other than food. So I would buy the stuff from the supermarket and think, because I was buying carrots, they were healthy, that's absolutely fine. But actually, I've stopped doing certain things, so I don't go out to eat. I don't go and buy lots of different things, items, materialistic things. I think my body now, my family's, health is more important than the things that I could normally do. So I just, I know that maybe people have already do that, but they still can't afford this. But that's why it's so important to have a group of people, because if you have a group of people, we can get this food wholesale prices. So they'll be probably paying what they would do for a normal carrot in the shop that isn't organic.
Wow.
So that's the idea. The idea is to get the people together in groups. They get their community, because people also say that why can't I go to Riverford or
any
just
other veg
Abel and
box.
Cole?
Yeah.
But yes, you can do, absolutely fine. But one, you don't know what you're getting in the boxes. It's a complete surprise. Someone might like that surprise. The other thing is, you haven't got this, the community. And for me, through the pandemic, when we weren't able to see people and live life as we once did before, we lost the connections, and this is us getting our connections back. So that to me is really important.
It's we can hear the church there in the background, which is striking whatever it is, 11 or 12.
I think it's 12 now.
Oh, it's
Yes.
with such fun we've had. You can't really stress that community, because I think up until the last 3 years ago, where we've had this massive health issue and everyone was locked up and told that we had to stay inside, and then later on we were mandated certain medical rescue packets and all of that nonsense. We found that the old way of life, you know, the way of life perhaps of 100, 150 years ago, over those years, had turned into us becoming atomized, at each other's throats, stressed. And now that we've had that situation, it's almost as if we're coming out of the trenches and realizing actually the last 100 years hasn't been a great time for food and things. And now it feels to me that we've almost stepped back to a village mentality where you can feel and touch the real veg. You can reconnect with stuff that's grown, if not locally, but at least grown properly and healthily.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I can see that from talking to everybody how vibrant and how happy you are with this. So my next question is, you said that your Food for Change is there to help other people. You've
Absolutely.
been doing more of these types of things,
yes,
so it's
we
not
have.
just from your garage.
No. We've got other co-ops now that we've helped set up. But power to those people, because they've realised that they want this change as well, and they want to provide themselves with a community, which they already have, but they're not coming together as often as they'd like, or over food. So we've got one, we've just opened up in Milton Keynes. We've got another, we've actually conjoined this one with Winchester.
With Winchester?
Winchester.
It's a long way to go.
It's
just
a
to get
very
your
long
ass.
way to go, but you know why? Because they wanted to come along. They've got their group together. They wanted to come along to see how we're running things. They
Right.
want to mimic the same back in Winchester. But at the moment, which is one of the hardest things, is to find a venue, like a
Yes.
garage,
Yes.
or a hall, community hall, or a pub. Or you've got to get yourself sort of having conversations with landlords, or to see whether it's possible. Once you've established that, then you can do what we're doing. But I think that's one of the hardest things, that people haven't got the venue. So at the moment, Winchester don't. So they're coming here. They came last cycle, helped pack. So they got the idea of how to pack, and
Right.
it seems simple, but obviously you need to understand the idea of it all.
Your ladies here are all
Yes.
working tirelessly, but they know exactly which order to put things in, and because that must just come from experience.
Yeah,
It's just
they've done it before.
Yeah.
From
Yeah. From
They've
running a
mastered
home.
the art. They've mastered the art, and they're always willing to help. They're wonderful. We're very lucky. So so they've just Winchester come down, and now they'll be here probably about 3 o'clock today to pick up their 9 boxes. There's 9 of them that have ordered this week.
Right.
And we've also conjoined with Bovingdon. There was a lovely chap that was doing his own thing there, and he wants to move. I think he's getting more people joining, so he wants to move into this format. I think
Right.
he thinks it might run a little bit smoother, although he was doing a brilliant job anyway. So
So you do this every other week
every other week for here.
for here?
But the alternative week, we're doing Nash, which is Milton Keynes, and Bovingdon.
Right, blimey. So for you, it's kind of a full-time job.
It's getting that way.
But it's so encouraging. So
Yeah.
if somebody's starting this and they come to you, you'll sort of handhold them,
Absolutely.
show them that you have the contacts, of course,
Yes.
which must be that's like the magic bullet, isn't
Absolutely.
it? Knowing where to go, and then all those things about how many items you need to buy to make it cost effective.
Yep.
Like, how many. So, for example, how many cauliflowers would you have to source for something like
Well,
the operation?
they come 10 in a box, so
Right.
we'd need 10 people in that group, or
20.
5 that want to.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
so it
yeah.
could work that way. So it's understanding it. So we would provide all of the order forms. We would provide them with the vegetables, fruit, whatever they require. We do meat as well. I know
Do
there was
you?
comments that you don't. What do they eat? Crystals. We don't just eat crystals. we have meat.
Crystals.
Yes, we have beef. We have
Right.
pork. We made sausages a couple of weeks ago. This is another thing. I would never in my life have ever known how to make a sausage
Gosh.
or mince up beef.
Right.
But Marianne, this wonderful Marianne, being the
Hello, Marianne.
woman that she is, she brought a great big carcass of beef, and we were mincing beef and we were making sausages with our group. It just gives people a chance to actually do something they would never have done before. So it's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
it's just fantastic.
The education of the sausages was great, wasn't it?
We had a laugh
Oh,
at King Charles's expense. We won't say any more.
No.
I think everyone will know what we mean.
Yeah.
So if we hadn't gone through the pandemic and that situation, chances are would you be doing this?
I wouldn't have even met Marianne.
True. True.
All these people, we wouldn't have known any of us. We wouldn't. So it's done us a huge favour.
And your health
Yeah.
has...
Absolutely. I think everything's taken a huge rise.
Yeah.
You know, not with one thing, many aspects.
Yeah, no, it's for me, it's the joining together to see the reaction to the word story isn't the right one, but the bit of knowledge, and a little bit of knowledge goes a long way, and how we can affect a lot of people to make a massive change that they're not expecting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. So in a way, I mean, I've said this on my channel quite a bit. I think we live now in amazing times because it's almost as if we're able to right the boat that's been upside down for a long time.
Absolutely.
And it might be a bit rough as we learn all this stuff, but actually I can see from your operation here, everyone's incredibly happy and you're keen to learn.
I'm
You're
in the
keen to
way.
make it work.
Because it's amazing.
And so, yeah, so the thing is, get in touch, Food for Change, and I think it's great. It's something I'd love to do where I am, in actual fact, with the lovely Julia, although we're actually trying to move away and buy some land to grow our own
lovely.
stuff, so it's
Yeah.
like touch and go, but do get in touch. All the links will be in the description, and best of luck, really.
Thank you.
We need to also explain that our website, because Marianne and I are the least techie people out there, and we just have created, or Marianne has created, a page for people to be able to get in touch with us.
Right.
At the moment, that's the most important thing. We don't have money to pump into the website because we're actually out on the road doing this,
Yes.
and we'd rather put ourselves there.
So if there's a
than
web person out there who's got some time on their hands, get in touch.
Absolutely.
And, you never know. You
Yeah.
never know.
Absolutely.
Brilliant. Well, I better go and rescue the lovely Julia, or maybe I should get and just give a hand myself.
That would be, yes.
There
Why
you
don't
go.
we film you
I'll
doing
get
some
Julia
boxes
filming
now?
me. But anyway, from Natalie and Marianne and myself, and Julia's in the back there slaving away.
Yep.
Thank you very much for watching. Do get in touch, links in the description, and hopefully soon I'll be out again meeting more of these wonderful people who have found that there is a new way to defeat the world that we're in. Until next time, thanks for watching and goodbye.